We are live.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Ask Julie Ryan show. It's where we blend spirituality and practicality to help you live a life of purpose and joy. We have a whole bunch of callers on hold. If you want to have a conversation with me, come in at askjulieryanshow.com. That's askjulieryanshow.com. And if you're joining us on the YouTube live stream, we're at Ask Julie Ryan. Just put your first name, where you're located, and your question in the chat. And we have Samantha over there helping everybody. And we got Chris, of course, on the main dashboard. So he'll be choosing people. You know, this is so much fun for me because I never know who's calling. I never know what their questions are going to be. I never know what Spirit's going to say. So I feel like it's a big crapshoot every week, which makes it just an absolute delight. First, I have a special guest that I'd like to bring on. Her name's Franny. So Chris is going to bring Franny in. Hey, Franny.
Hi, Julie. How are you?
Wonderful. Franny is a graduate of my Angelic Attendant training class, and she is the goddess of the scholarship offer that we're going to talk
Mhm.
about here this evening, because we're going to be opening up scholarship applications from March 15th through March 30th. And if you're interested in taking Angelic Attendant training from me, that's the weekend-long live class where you learn the whole buffet of psychicness. You're going to be able to apply for a scholarship. And Franny, I'd like for you to tell everybody about the class. They hear about it from me, but I'd love to hear your take on it, and then we'll get down to the details of how people can apply for the scholarship.
Well, thank you, Julie. Thank you for having me. I will begin with the end in mind and say that it's magic. Your life will never be the same. If you want your life to be better and you never want to go back, then you want to be a part of this training program. Um, it's hanging out with Julie, learning her buffet of psychicness, and it's just such an incredible response that I get chills just thinking about the work that we get to do, helping each other out. It also allows you to become bigger, a part of something bigger than yourself, which is why we're here. So, an enlightening experience changes lives, your life, everyone else around you. Um, and we get to hang out with you, which is pretty awesome.
That's my joy. But when you first joined the class,
Mm.
Franny, how long ago did you take the class? What number were you?
I was 20. I was the
Number
first
20.
Atlanta class, the first in-person class in
Okay.
Atlanta.
Okay. And
Yeah,
I
that
only
was my
teach this
first class.
class twice a year. Once
That's right.
online in May, which is going to be the 16th and 17th, and then once in the fall in Atlanta, which we'll do again. And that's going to be October 23rd through the 25th. So it's the weekend before Halloween. That's how I remember it. And Franny, when you first took the class, did you have any skills when you joined the class, when you enrolled,
Uh,
that
not
you knew
really.
of?
Like I had
Any skills that
that
you
I
knew
knew
of?
of.
Yeah.
Yes, great way to position that, Julie. Thank you. So not that I knew of, like, you have a sensation like, oh, I think I should be doing this. Now it's I know, right?
Mhm.
Because I
Mhm.
gained those skills through class and of course the practice groups, which are everything that the Julie training is about.
Right.
Being a part of this practice group. Yeah,
So you can talk to spirits, whether they're attached to a body or not. You
that's right.
can do past life scans. You can do
So much
medical
fun.
scans. You've gotten really good at the medical stuff. You can
Hmm.
tell how close to death somebody is.
Stages of
All and
transition. That's right.
stages of transition, phases of transition. Talk to angels, talk to spirit guides, talk to whomever, not just for yourself, but you can do it for others as well, right?
That's right. And that's what we get to practice in the practice group with people in my cohort, if you will. And then on my own, I call in the angels every day to help me do my best work. So it's a part of, yes, when we're surrounded by other people who've had your training, as well as what you take from it in everyday life and how it can serve you and serve others.
So you talk to the angels, do they answer you?
Yes.
Yes, that's
And
the key.
yes, and it's important to listen, right? So, and then the numbers, right? Knowing when the numbers. So, do you know what time I woke up yesterday? You asked me what time I get up, right? Because we were talking about this right before we started the call. I got up at exactly 3:33 this morning.
Oh my gosh. That's craziness, girl. You gotta sleep in later than that. But she's a
Yeah,
numbers girl.
tomorrow.
She's a numbers girl because she's a CPA, you guys. And I
Yeah,
think I
yeah.
think that's a really good point too, is we have people from all walks of life. You know, you're a
Mm.
CPA, we have housewives and mothers and plumbers
Doctors.
and doctors, met lot of medical providers, lot of,
That's right.
people that are in the teaching fields, lot of school teachers, lot of university professors. We've had people from 15 countries around the world. We have hundreds and hundreds of people that have gone through this training, and this is gonna be class 25 already, Franny, in May,
Wow.
May 16th and
Wow.
17th. And
Wow.
so it's the as Franny mentioned, the most important part of this training, I always say it's 10% technique, 90% transfer of energy from me to my students. It's irrelevant whether it's online or whether it's in person. It's the same thing. But the key is we have 9 practice groups a week that are free for life. And that's when your skills really ramp up because otherwise, it's like going to a talk or reading a book or watching a video on how to do something until you do it and do it with some regularity and get validation for what you're getting. That's when your skills really ramp up. Would you agree with that, Franny?
100%, Julie. Everything takes practice. Our jobs take practice. We show up day after day, week after week, month after month, and that's how we get good at it. And that's exactly what we get to do in the practice groups. And, it's, I can speak to this from, a credentialed professional. Nothing was ever free. All of the courses and training that I needed to stay as a CPA, nothing was free. And you're offering something that is free for life. That
Yeah.
is unheard of anywhere in any industry, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
Right.
So it's
And
a big
it's
deal.
and it's the most important part of the training by
The
far.
most important part of the training by far, because yes, it's kind of like we have our starter set and then we get to play, right? Then we
Good
get to
way to
play.
put it. All right, so tell
Yeah.
everybody about the scholarship application process and then how you choose a winner of the scholarship. You guys, I don't know who this person is until Franny tells me who it is. So it is totally graduate led and they pick somebody. So tell everybody about that, please.
Sure. So the application is online, and there'll be, we'll announce that when we're done talking about it. It's be on Julie's website. As she mentioned earlier, we launch it this Sunday, the 15th, and it goes through March 30th.
Mhm.
So we have a little over 2 weeks to apply. It's such a simple application. All that you really have to know, and we kind of gave you some of the answers, like why do you want to attend, pardon, Julie's training? Like, why do you want to do it? Um, and you could take from what we've said, or just, I suggest take it from your heart. Just go in there and say, why would I want to attend Julie's training? It's incredibly simple. We just ask your first name and last name. And this year we ask for your phone number, and specifically because Julie will call you once you've won, because she wants you on the show when we announce it on April 15th. More importantly, the back end process, which is what Julie wanted me to discuss. And like she said, she knows nothing of this process. She doesn't participate in it. She doesn't say this one looks good or that one looks better. She's totally removed. And there is a committee of 5 of us. It's six, including myself. But I call them the Fabulous Five. And we review every single scholarship application that comes through with intention. And it's hard, you guys, because a lot of you have the best stories and are very heartfelt reasons as to why you want to attend Julie's training. So we take every application seriously, and then we whittle it down to 5, and then we send it out to the Angel Guild, which is about 20 or 30 graduates of Julie's training who have participated in her Angel Messages book. There's 2 volumes out now. Excuse me. And then they decide which one of the 5 is the final winner. And then, like Julie said, I offer that information to her. And like I said, this year she'll call you. So please put your phone number in the application so we can get a hold of you. We ask for your email, of course, and where you're from, because we like to keep track of where in the world everyone's from. Because, like Julie said, there's so many countries that are represented. So that's the process. It's pretty simple. It's very exciting. I would say that if you even think that you should do it, you should do it. Like, don't even hesitate. Like, if you're here, especially if you're on the call right now, you're interested in Julie's work. Don't you want to know and learn more about what she does? So she shares a lot. She's very generous, as we know with the practice groups, especially. So, in her generosity, I would say, fill it out, give it a shot.
Yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
pretty much everything, Julie. Did I cover it all? Just the
You did. You
process?
did great. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you. And so anybody anywhere in the world, you are welcome
Anybody,
to
anywhere in the
apply
world.
because it's
Yes,
online. Again, it's going to be May 16th and 17th. We're going to offer one scholarship and
that's right.
you're welcome to join the class too. And just sign up regular. And that's askjulieryan.com/AAT to sign up for the class. And then it's a full weekend and it's a blast, you guys. You learn
It's a
how to do
blast.
absolutely everything that I do. And people are doing it in the first hour, aren't they, Franny? Of the
It's
class. And
so amazing.
people are amazed. Yeah.
It's
So,
so, yeah, blown away at how
yeah.
fast people pick up. Yeah,
And then the scholarship is askjulieryan.com/class. Askjulieryan.com/class. Easy for me to say, it's a lot of S's. And then, we will have all of that. We'll have it on my website. We're gonna have it on all the social media feeds at Ask Julie Ryan. We'll send it out in the weekly, blog that I do, which is I answer a question. So askjulieryan.com/class if you wanna submit your application for being a
yep.
hopeful winner of the scholarship. All
Hopeful
right,
winner.
Franny's, thank you so much for joining us
You're
this
welcome
evening.
so much. Thank
Yeah.
you. This
All
looks like a
righty.
great group. You're going to have some fun. I can't wait to listen to it tomorrow. I'm
All
excited.
righty. Love you. Sweet
All right,
dreams.
all. Love you. Good night,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Bye bye.
Oh gosh. This is such a fun thing for all of us to do, and the AAT community has gotten very large. As I mentioned, we have several hundred people that have been through the class and they join the practice groups. And then I do a group for any AAT grad that wants to participate on the first Saturday of the month. And that's a blast too, you guys. People from all of the different classes get together and we have a topic that we discuss, and it's really an amazing community that will help you enhance and develop and enhance your own skills. Because remember, I learned how to do all this stuff. I didn't have dead people chasing me when I was a kid. I wouldn't have known what to do with that. But Angelic attended training May 16th and 17th. All righty, Chris. Thank you for helping Franny be on. Let's get our first caller on. All right. Hello, this is Allison in Connecticut. Hi, Allison. Thanks for joining us. Can you please scan my beloved dog, Gracie, and tell us what's going on with her health wise? Yeah, absolutely. So, how this works, you guys, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, is I raise my vibrational level to the level of spirit. I'm going to watch a laser beam come from my body here in Birmingham, Alabama. It's going to hook into Allison in Connecticut. I'm going to go from her to her dog, Gracie. And then I'm going to envision shooting energy through Gracie, the dog. And there'll be a hologram of her in my mind's eye. and I'm gonna see what shows up. And then something will be identified immediately thereafter. There will be some type of energetic healing. I'm gonna describe it in detail, and I want all of you to envision what I'm describing, because when you do that, it's gonna help integrate the healing into Gracie, the dog, or the human, whoever it is we're talking to. So here we go. Here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama. Heading up to you, Allison. All right, got you. Going to Gracie. Got Gracie. Gracie looks like she is a wilting plant. Good heavens. All right. She looks like she's super low energy. I'm going in. Just on the outside, she looks low energy, like she's just dragging, a plant that needs to be watered. After you water it, it perks right up. So I've got that going on. I get that she's got like a stomach bug. I'm getting that she has dysentery, perhaps. That's what I'm hearing. I don't know if you're seeing that or not, but I get that she's ingested something. This time of year, a lot of the landscape companies are spreading chemicals on lawns and on plants. So be really careful that she doesn't ingest some of that. I find that so often with our animals is they're licking their paws, and their paws are full of fertilizer or weed
Mhm.
killer or something like that. I get that. I get if it persists, I would take her to the vet. I would feed her just really bland things for now. If she's not eating, don't worry so much about it, because both pets and humans, when you just don't have an appetite when you feel bad, that's our body repairing itself. And we've always been told, "Well, you gotta eat something even if you don't feel like it." No, you don't. That's your body going, "I don't need to be expending energy fixing, digesting food when I need to be fixing something else." Try and keep her hydrated, though, and I would give her 2 days. If she's not better, I would call the vet. I think she's ingested some, like, fertilizer or weed killer or something like that. It's not gonna kill her, she's gonna be fine. But her spirit's in her body, she's not dying, and she'll be fine. Hope that helps. Thanks for joining us. If you wanna have a conversation with me, join us at AskJulieRyanShow.com. If you're coming in on the YouTube live stream, we're at Ask Julie Ryan. Put your first name and where you're located and your question in the chat, and we'll be taking more questions from the live stream. Smith is over there to help. Chris is on the main dashboard, so he'll be bringing up our next person. See who he picks. Hello. Hi, Jennifer. I can't hear you, honey. Gotta unmute. Oh, now I can't see you. Now I can see you, but I can't hear you. Uh, well, you work on that, and we'll bring somebody else back on. Chris, please let Jennifer figure
Oh,
out
there
how
we go.
to sound. Oh,
Woo,
she
I'm
figured it
back.
out. Okay, she's back.
Hey,
How are you,
Julie.
my hi, girl? Tell everybody where you are, please.
Knoxville, Tennessee.
Knoxville. How may I help
Yes.
you?
Well, this is a little bit of a heavier question. Um, so, my youngest son is 5. His name's Ben,
Mhm.
and um, his unfortunately, his father has subjected him to quite a bit of types of abuse, including sexual abuse, and this is going through the Tennessee juvenile court system, and it's very hard to get custody of a child when there have been allegations made. Um, ben has told his therapist, however, because he didn't disclose anything during this latest forensic interview, they're essentially saying, well, we can't prove it, even though he's been telling his therapist things. So that's kind of what's behind this question. Um, since Sunday night, he has these big mood swings, and we're in the process of trying to get a diagnosis. There's a lot of things I think that are kind of coming up with him. But Julie, since Sunday night, um, I've seen something different in him. It's been every night since Sunday. And the best way I can describe it is it's like seeing a very dark entity jumping in his body. And I don't want to go as far as saying it's a demonic possession, but it seems like there is a very dark, oppressive spirit coming in. And
Okay. All right. Let's address that right off the top. All spirits are pure
okay,
love. There is no such thing as an evil spirit. Don't exist. Period.
okay,
What you may be picking up is his emotional energy,
okay,
because I'm sure he's feeling like he's not being heard and he's afraid to go
yeah.
back to the abuser, who unfortunately is his father's house.
Well,
And
he's not been around him other than a supervised visit now and then in over a year, but it's getting close to the point where the court's saying, "Hey, every other weekend," and
okay,
that's terrifying for me.
so what I'm hearing is, first of all, evil spirits don't exist. We see a spirit and we immediately go into what our frame of reference is. And when we see
Okay.
a spirit, I mean, it may be his guardian angel that you're seeing. It may be another deceased loved one that you're
Well,
seeing.
it's actually it's coming at me saying, "F you, Jennifer. F you, Jennifer."
Okay, so that's in your head. All spirits are pure love. What we do is we go into fight or flight when we see spirits, most of
Okay.
us. It's an autonomic nervous system response. And so what happens is we lose our clarity and we go immediately to what we're familiar with. And that's like spirits in horror movies saying things. Spirits are all pure love. No spirit's ever going to say anything derogatory, demeaning, degrading, abusive, ever, 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 ever. When we hear that, that's our brain that's doing
Even though
that.
the words are coming out of his mouth?
It's because you're in fear, and that's what you're picturing. That's what you're, because your brain's in fight or flight. You've lost clarity. So,
Okay.
what I'm hearing with the abuse stuff, so first of all, I want you to know that there are no evil spirits. They don't exist. All spirits are pure love. I've heard that a kabillion times from spirit. I've been doing this over 30 years. I have never seen one. I've been told, seriously, for 30 years, they don't exist. They're a figment of our imagination. All right. And we're going to, when we get scared, what's our frame of reference? And it's from watching spirits in movies like that, scary movies. So, what I was getting when you were talking about the courts was for somebody to interview him like his therapist and record it, because a child like that is not going to have enough knowledge to know these things. So
Okay.
let him talk to somebody who he trusts and do a recording of it. Do an audio recording, do a video recording. You don't need to be in the room, but set up a video camera and just have it roll. And then you can edit out
Okay.
when they're walking in the room and all of that. That's going to be your biggest proof. Because why would he
Okay.
talk to people that he doesn't know? He's a
Exactly.
he's afraid he's gonna get in trouble, he's afraid his dad's gonna get in trouble, and children, especially that are abused, they don't they know that their parents are supposed to love them, and they're gonna do what they need to do a lot of the time to, protect the parent even.
Yeah.
So, I am no therapist, I'm so glad you're working with a licensed professional on this, but I would get a recording of that. Get his
Okay.
little voice telling his therapist what's going on. It would be even better if you could get a video and audio recording of it and submit that to the court, because you do not want him going back with the abuser.
No.
Yeah.
Even the therapist reported to DCS what he had said. Well, DCS does a forensic interview, and because during that 30-minute, literally 30-minute window of time they had him with him this past Tuesday, he didn't say anything. So DCS is
Why
dropping it.
why would he? So you've gotta take that extra action. Talk to his therapist,
Okay.
get that going on, get that submitted to the court, and I'll remember you in my prayers, and I'm sure everybody listening will as well.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
when one thing you can do, keep in mind this evil spirit that you're hearing say, go away. We're always way more powerful in our bodies than any spirit is. That's your imagination, but you can say go away, and that'll help your imagination deal with that. So I hope that
Well,
helps.
it does. And when he comes out and starts verbally saying these things, that's
That's
not
your head.
him.
That's your head. Yeah,
So
that's your head.
I'm not here. Like,
Yeah.
but
So
I'm hearing him say
we
these
need to get
things.
we need to get to somebody else. All
Okay.
spirits are pure love. Remember that. All spirits are pure
Okay.
love. This is all you're being in fight or flight. It's your brain that's processing this information in an unclear way because we lose
Okay.
clarity. So your most
Okay.
important thing is get your child on tape with his therapist talking about this stuff. And I hope that
Okay.
helps. All spirits are
Thank you
pure
so
love.
much.
Period. End of story.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you,
All
Julie.
righty. You're welcome.
Okay. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All righty. AskJulieRyan.com. Let me say one other thing about this evil spirit thing. Evil spirits and the concept of evil spirits have been used to control the masses since the beginning of time, and they create fear. And what's the easiest way to control people is through fear. Look at the pandemic. People did stupid stuff, and they were looking to their leaders to give them guidance. And the leaders were telling them stupid stuff in a lot of cases, too, like wash your grocery bags when you get them home. I mean, that was nuts. So I think this whole evil spirit thing is all nonsense. All spirits go to heaven. All spirits are pure love. The whole concept of evil spirits has been formulated over the millennia by religions and cultures to control the masses. And we've got literature, we've got movies. And what does it do? It elicits a response. Fear is a very big response. And so they know it has people buying books and going to see movies that have fear in them. So keep in mind, all spirits are pure love, period. Okay, let's see who's next. If you want to have a conversation with me, we're at AskJulieRyan.com. If you want to join us via the YouTube live stream, we're at Ask Julie Ryan. Put your first name and your question, where you're located, first name, where you're located, and your question in the chat, and Samantha will help there. Hi, Lucy.
Hi, Julie. It's good to see you and talk to you. Thanks for
Good
having
to
me on.
see you. Where are you?
I'm in Philadelphia.
Terrific. How may I help you?
I am calling in because a few weeks ago I had an episode where my heart rate had gone up to 160 and stayed there for about 5 to 10 minutes.
Good heavens.
And I wasn't sure if it was because of like a lack of sleep or stress, or if it was and there's my cat's fighting in the back. Um, or if it was a panic attack, but I've never had one before.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't having panicky thoughts. But so uh, I had gotten an EKG, and I'm kind of in this like limbo phase of, just kind of checking all the boxes, making sure everything's okay. But in my heart, I feel like everything's fine. Uh, but I know with my EKG, they had one reading where it was perfectly normal and one reading where they said that maybe there was an elongated QT. So they're just, over the next few months, I have a few appointments where they're just making sure everything's okay. But I wanted to call in and check with you to just do a scan and double check.
Right. I'll get you on my radar in just a second. While you're talking, Lucy, I'm getting divine downloads into my head. I'm hearing
Mm-hmm.
information from spirit. And what I'm hearing is that you're mineral deficient.
Okay.
So Beam Minerals, BEAM Minerals, beamminerals.com /Julie. That's or bminerals.com. Use Julie in the code. You can go to my website too, askjulieryan.com. On the sponsors page, there'll be a link. If you go through that link, you'll save 20%. I get that your minerals are off. The heart
Okay.
needs salt, needs magnesium, needs other minerals. If you find yourself in that situation again with a rapid heartbeat, here's what I want you to do. And I'm still going to check your heart here in a second. I want you to get salt in your hand, get good salt, like Himalayan salt or, you know, um, the sea salt.
Like
Get
Celtic.
something that's good. Right. We have the Kalahari salt, the Oryx salt that we suggest. It's also on my sponsors page. Put like a quarter of a teaspoon in your hand, and then I want you to put it in your mouth. Put it under your tongue
Okay.
and let the salt absorb. And then drink a really big glass of water. And the Beam Minerals have 2 bottles. One's a blue bottle, and that's the minerals. The other one's a green bottle, and it's electrolytes. I want you to put a cap full of the electrolytes out of the green bottle in that big glass of water. So you ingest that good salt, not Morton's, not table salt, not sodium. I want real salt.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in your mouth, get some of it under your tongue because it's going to absorb really fast under your tongue. And then drink a big glass of water with electrolytes in it. That will normalize your heartbeat pretty much instantly, like within a
Okay.
minute or two. Yeah, it's a really good trick to do on that. So here we go. Here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama, heading to you in Philly. All right, got you shooting energy from your feet up through the top of your head. You're in sinus rhythm. I mean, your heart looks fine to me. You are beaten the way you're supposed to be beaten, girl. Your heart looks great. If your heart was out of rhythm or something was wrong, I would watch an ablation happen. Is Lucy's heart, does it have an issue? Lack of minerals. That's what I heard when you first started telling me what was going on. You're going to be amazed at how much more energy you have and how you just will rarely, if ever, get sick.
Awesome.
When you start taking those minerals, everybody in my family is on them. We've been on them for a couple of years. It's remarkable, the difference. So just go to askjulieryan.com and click on the sponsors page and look for Beam Minerals. And then get some
Okay.
Oryx salt while you're on there too, and there's a discount for that too. That is salt that's mined in the Kalahari Desert. And the Himalayan salt, the pink Himalayan salt is mined with
Mm-hmm.
dynamite. So I don't know that you want the TNT and with your salt. If that's all you've got, do it, but get some good salt. And then the issue with the sea salt is the seas are really polluted. So that's why we suggest the Oryx salt, the Kalahari Desert salt, because they mine it just in these big, huge trays. They don't even mine it, they dig it up, and then they let it, you know, let it let nature get it, so it doesn't have any junk in
Mm-hmm.
it, any other things.
That sounds
But
good.
remember that trick. You wanna have salt that you can grind up really fast and then just put it in your mouth, be sure you get some of it under your tongue, and you're
Okay,
good.
good.
You're good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling. Alrighty, everybody. We're at AskJulieRyanShow.com. We're at Ask Julie Ryan on the YouTube live stream. So come join us and we'll see who our next caller is. If you're on the YouTube, first name, where you're located, and your question in the chat. And we'll do that. Speaking of which, we've got Brenda from Singapore. Hi, Brenda from Singapore. Is there anything in my past life that's causing bad breaks, affecting my abundance in this lifetime? Please, please help. Thanks. Okay. Yeah, absolutely there is. Absolutely. So the way that I do past lives is we're going to figure out which lifetime is the most, correlates the most with what's going on in your current life. So, how I do this, of course, is different because I'm an entrepreneur. I don't hypnotize people. I don't do any of that. We do what I call a past life scan. I envision myself in this endless hallway, very narrow walls, very tall ceilings. In the hallway are 12-inch by 12-inch square mirrors lined up perfectly vertically and horizontally as far as the eye can see. So we're in the Brenda Hall of Records in the Akashic Records is where we are. So we're going to ask a question. Does Brenda have any past lives in which she had lack of abundance? She was poor. She was destitute even. And that it's affecting her in this lifetime. So those mirrors have come out from the wall, and there are a lot of them. And it's like they're on a hydraulic arm and they get pushed out from the wall. So show me the one that is the most applicable with what Brenda has going on in this lifetime. All right. That mirror has come out from the wall the furthest. It's on the left. I see myself running down this hallway. I get you lived in Tahiti. Sounds like an island paradise to me. And I get that what was the year? 1837. And there was a big storm that came through that wiped out everything. Wiped out, like your home and your everything that you needed to survive. So messed up the trees, messed up the vegetation, messed up everything. And you had to start over from scratch. And you had to figure out how were you going to feed your family. You were a woman in that lifetime, Brenda, and you had 3 children and a husband. But it was a big family. You were one of 7. Your parents lived with you. Your grandparents lived with you. Like it was a family compound. It was a Tahitian version of South Fork from Dallas, the TV show in the 80s. So what you were doing was you were figuring out how you were going to be able to survive, and it was going to be through fishing primarily until you could get more of your plants to grow and things like that. So it was awful. It was frightening. It was terrible. How does that affect this lifetime? You're in a situation I'm getting that's really frightening, and you don't really see a way out of it. And it's almost like there's been a natural disaster that's happened. That's what it feels like in your lifetime. What I'm here to tell you is all of those lifetimes you survived. And the way that past lives work is we all come in with scripts of things we want to explore and experience. And we do those scripts through multiple lifetimes. And we'll look at it from a different perspective, different time, different situation, different gender, same basic script. So that's what's going on. The thing I want you to remember, Brenda, is our thoughts create our reality. So every time you have a thought that's like, oh my God, my whole life is bad breaks, I can't get ahead of anything, blah, 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 blah. That's the energy you're sending out. What you want to do is you want to change that. What if my next break is just around the corner? What if this next email that I send for a job, they're going to hire me? Go to what if. What if? Imagine what you want to happen. We use our imagination most of the time, we humans, in a way that's negative. And then we suffer over what we're imagining. Well, if that happens, then that's going to happen, then that's going to happen, then that's going to happen. So let's use our imagination in a positive way, similar to anytime you have a situation and you feel like you're going into this black hole, you go into fight or flight. Like what I was talking with Allison, our first caller, about. When you're in fight or flight, your cortisol levels go up, your inflammation levels go up, the blood drains from your brain, goes to your heart and your extremities, and you lose clarity. You can't think right when you're in fight or flight. All you can think of is, I got to get away from this. And that's when we go in the black hole of all of the things we're imagining that we don't want to happen, and then we suffer over them. So change how you're thinking. Our thoughts create our reality. And that's the best thing for you to remember. So you'll get through this. You did in all those other lifetimes, and you will this one too. Let us know how it unfolds for you. Thanks, Brenda. All righty, AskJulieRyanShow.com. If you want to have a conversation with me, we're at Ask Julie Ryan on the YouTube live stream. and just put your first name and where you're located and your question in the chat. And remember to look at Angelic Attendant training, because the scholarship offer, askjulieryan.com/class, and you go to my website and you can see all the trainings. We've got a couple of them that are online, self-paced. They're only a couple of hours, and they all come with practice groups as well, but those are $10 a piece, because my facilitators are graduates of my big class, my Angelic Attendant training class, and the $10 goes to them for their time. So, if the weekend class, you can't do that and you wanna do kind of an introductory class that's online, it's a couple of hours of videos, and then you do the practice groups, and your skills come in that way too. So, lots of options here. All righty, Chris, let's see who's next. Hello. Hi, Pam.
Julie.
How are you, my dear?
I'm good.
Terrific. Tell everybody where you are.
I'm in Tucson, Arizona from Ohio originally. We're just out here for the winter. Yeah. I talked to you a couple weeks ago. I just have a different question this time.
Okay, what's that?
Well, my husband has had lots and lots of different medical issues. We've done different remote healings and various things to help him out, and they seem to go okay. And then they
Yeah.
kind of go sideways again. And I just wondered if you could do the thing to see if he has the energetic leak.
Sure.
The leak
Yeah.
in his energy
Yeah.
field.
What's he having healings about? What's going on?
Well,
Like,
the main ones have been with his COPD.
okay.
And we've been to Dr. Joe and some other different people, through remote healings. My remote healings weren't great. I don't know. I just wonder, I've listened to you enough that I've heard so much about that energetic leak. And I
Yeah.
wondered if that could be his problem. And he's right
Well,
here. He's the one that
yeah.
likes to talk while I'm talking.
I didn't say a word.
Ah, tell us your name.
My name's Bob. Julie.
Hi, Bob. Hi, Bob. Thanks for joining us. She doesn't even let him on camera, you guys that are listening.
No, she doesn't. That's the way she's been for 55 years.
Oh, there he is. I'm trying. I'm never very good with these things. There's the old ornery
okay.
man.
All right, Pam, we got you. That's good. Okay, so here we go. We'll look at your energy field membrane, but the COPD, I'm gonna check that too, because I'm gonna have them on my radar. So what the heck? So here we go. I've heard so many people, including a friend of mine, where they were told by the doctor that you can't heal from COPD. That is just not true. I have seen so many people completely heal from COPD. So that's just what their experience has been. That's what they were trained. Yeah. Okay, Pam, you gotta stifle them there while we do the training or
Okay, I'm sorry.
Do the healing. Here we go. All right, Bob, got you on my radar, going in, looking at your lungs. Okay, so you're all the tubes and the bronchi and all that kind of all those goodies in your lungs look super enlarged to me. And some of them look like they've atrophied. So we're just going to redo all that tubing in your lungs so you're going to be able to breathe easier. So what's happening is I'm watching that tubing get pulled out of each lung. Looks to me like you got a bunch of scar tissue in your left lung. And scar tissue looks like spider web material, but it's thicker, it's more fibrous. So I'm watching that get cut out. You got some in your right lung too. But I'm watching all of the tubing that brings the airflow into your lungs get removed. And now what I'm watching is new tubing get put in, and it's being positioned into place. So I want you to envision this, no matter how crazy it sounds, because spirit gives us these visuals, and so we can have a human frame of reference. And when we envision what I'm describing, that has the frequency of the healing in it. And that's how it integrates into our body. So I'm watching all that get put in. Now I'm watching your lungs get inflated. I'm watching all the tubing happen. I'm watching it get all hooked up to the rest of your body. All right, got that going on. The old tubing that we took out, just as soon as it comes out of your body, it just disappears.
Great.
Completely disappears. So we've got that going on. Now we've got 2 vortices that are spinning inside your lungs, and those vortices are transforming the stem cell energy into new body parts. So
Great.
we've got that. Yeah. All right. So energy field membrane. Yes, you have a big hole. It's near your throat. For those of you that don't know what we're talking about, it's kind of like secret language, but I'm going to give you the code for the secret language here. Our bodies are spirits attached to a human body having the human experience. Both of those have energy. The energy is contained in what I call the energy field membrane, which reminds me of a big plastic bag of really thin plastic. Think of stretchy saran wrap. When there's a tear or hole in that energy field membrane, there's an energy leak. Energy leaks always are preceding any kind of medical condition that comes in. They're caused by an emotional event, either in this life or a past life. So I'm going to go into that tear or hole and we're going to get information. I'm not going for the most dramatic or traumatic thing that's ever happened to you, Bob. I'm going for where did that energy block begin? And oftentimes we'll bring it in from a past life. And once we illuminate it, we eradicate it, the energy field membrane heals, body's working on full power, helps the body regain and maintain health. It's the most important part of a healing, in my opinion, because we can fix body parts all day long, but if you're leaking power, what's the point? So here, I'm going into the hole in your neck. It looks like somebody shot an orange from the inside out, Bob. It's about the size of a medium-sized orange. And not one of those Cara oranges that are huge and delicious, but just a regular orange. So I'm going in. I get the year's 1967. Where were you in 1967? How old were you? Tell
I
me.
was, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
I was 16.
Okay.
The only serious issues I had in 1967, I had a persistent ingrown toenail that they operated on. They took a half an inch off my toe, my great toe, scraped the bed and sewed her back up. That's the way they fixed them back then.
Okay.
But,
We don't
I
need to
had
go any
serious-
farther. We don't need to go
Oh,
any further. That's it.
okay.
When we get a year, I would say 99.9% of the clients with whom I work and my graduates, I got 6 graduates that do sessions as well, do
Yeah.
a whole buffet of psychicness. People know instantly. So that was an emotional event. It doesn't have to be something super traumatic, but that's pretty traumatic for a 16-year-old, especially a guy. You were probably in sports and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we illuminated that energy block, Bob, looks like a little kernel of unpopped popcorn to me, gets stuck in
Yeah.
the energy field. Other life events, emotions pile on top of it, eventually causing enough pressure causes a blowout in that membrane. Body's leaking power. You didn't start leaking power in 1967, but at some point between then and now. And so your energy field membrane is healed. Your body is working on full power. Pam may need to wear sunglasses around you this evening because you look like a supernova because you're so brilliant.
You'd love that.
The interesting thing about the energy field membrane is I've never seen one rupture after it's been fixed. And I'm not saying it can't, but I've done this tens of thousands of times and I've never seen one rupture. So I think there's a really good chance that it won't. And it's the most important part of a healing. An analogy I like to use for this is think about going to the pet store and buying a goldfish. They're going to put the fish in a bag of water in order for you to get it home. Well, the fish represents our body. The water represents our spirit because our body's inside our spirit. And the plastic bag's the energy field membrane. If there's a pinhole in that plastic bag and water's draining out a drop at a time, for a long time, that fish is going to be fine. However, when enough water drains out, that fish is going to be in trouble. And that's what happens to the human body. So we fix the energy field membrane. Body's working on full power, going to help you regain and maintain health. I'd love to have a whole hour with Bob. Pam, you can come too, or schedule it with one of my graduates. They're all fabulous. just askjulieryan.com and pick a date and time. And then we'll do a deep dive and really get him back on his road to health.
Thank you.
You
Thank
are
you.
so welcome. You're welcome, Bob.
Well, thank
Thanks
you,
for being
Julie.
such a good sport.
Oh,
Fun. Yeah, fun. All
I
righty.
try.
If you want to have a conversation with me, we're at AskJulieRyanShow.com. If you're joining us on the YouTube live stream, we're at Ask Julie Ryan. It's always fun. I never know what questions are going to come up or who's going to be asking them. So every Thursday night, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, and 5 Pacific. If you're looking for a fun hour, this is it. I always say, welcome to the fun zone, because spirit is pure love and joy, and we're supposed to have fun doing this stuff, whether it's talking with a deceased loved one or doing a healing or doing a past life thing, whatever, because that's why I get some of these really hilarious visions of spirit giving me, especially during healings, because we're supposed to have fun. Joy is a super high vibration, helps integrate the healing into your body. And we're all sending healing. When you are listening to the show, whether it's real time or whether it's 5 years from now, it doesn't matter, because time doesn't exist in the spirit world. Time's a human creation. And so we're all sending that healing energy. It's kind of like the power of prayer. So we're doing that. Chris, who's our next caller? Sherry from Alberta, Canada. Hi, Sherry. I would love a message from my dad, Ralph, who's crossed. Much appreciated. All right, connected into you, going from you to Ralph. Ralph, what do you want to tell Sherry? He's with the puppies. He's saying, did you have puppies as a kid, or did he have puppies? What's with the puppies? He's with the puppies. He wants you to know that it's the most fun he's ever had, because he thinks of something and it just immediately materializes. So no matter what he wants to do, he thinks of it and then he gets to do it. And he said all the things that he was afraid to do in life, and he said he was afraid of a lot when he was in this last lifetime as your dad, he's getting to do. He's a character. He says, and it doesn't matter because I'm just a spirit, so I can't get hurt. That's hilarious. So my guess is he was probably a jokester. But the first thing that came in is he's with the puppies. So put something in the chat and let us know what's the puppies. Did you guys have a dog that had puppies? Did you want to get puppies? What's with the puppies? They always tell us fun stuff. And it's usually something that's not going to change your life one way or the other. It's most people, when they get to talk to their deceased loved ones for the first time, they're expecting some earth-changing, wonderful piece of advice that they can follow and their life's going to be magically perfect. That's not how it works. They're going to give us something like, oh, I'm with the puppies. And I don't edit anything I get from spirit. I always laugh and say, we couldn't control what people say when they're alive. I sure as heck can't control what they say when they're dead. And we're talking to their spirits. So I'm just the roving reporter, messenger, giving you what I'm getting. And it doesn't matter if it makes sense to me. The only thing that matters is if it makes sense to you. If it doesn't at the moment that you hear it, that's okay. You may think of what it means later. It may pertain to something that hasn't happened yet. And be open to puppies. You may see puppies on a side of a van. You may see puppies on a TV show. You may see puppies in a pet store. Just be open. Might see a picture of puppies in a magazine or on the side of a bus or on a billboard. Just be open to the puppies. Great question. All righty, let's see who's next. All right. Oh, Lorena. Hi, girl. I took your AET class and I wanted to thank you so much for all that you do. You sweet thing. You're the best, Julie. I love you. I love you back. Thank you for taking the class. That's Angels and Enlightenment Training. That's one of those 2-hour video classes that you do at your own pace. And then it has live practice groups, which is wonderful. And then we've got the medical intuition training. Again, it's a couple of hours. They're both kind of intro into this woo-woo stuff. But the key is we have the practice groups with people who are graduates of my big class that are facilitating them and helping you validate the information you get. The more you do this, the more validation you get, the more validation you get, the more you trust it, and that's just second nature. It's like laying those new neural pathways in your brain. So we've got MIT, AET, online self-paced. We've got the big AAT that's going to be in May. So we're giving you lots of choices. Okay, Chris, I think we can take another caller or somebody. Hi, EU. Hi, girl.
Hi, how are you, Julie?
I'm
Good to
wonderful.
see you.
Tell
Hi,
everybody where you're located.
I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Okay, terrific.
I'm just asking about my mom. My mom, she passed away 6 months ago.
Oh,
And my family, they think that she passed away because there is a lot of the neighbors has a witch. So they think that they did something for her. That's why she was sick and she passed away. And she was really sick for a few months, and I go there when I arrived there she was critical, and I stayed with her for 1 month and she passed away. But I admitted her in the hospital, and I was thinking that because of her sickness is because of she's sick, and maybe she passed away because of something happened on the hospital and something. And that was my question. And my first question is, we're confusing. I was believing my families, and on the other part, there is something in the hospital. Something happened in the hospital, and because of that, she passed away. And
what's
that's
her
my first
what's her
question.
first name? What's her first name?
Her first name is Zodinesh.
So Danish. All right. Evil spirits don't exist. Curses don't exist unless somebody believes it. There's all kinds of research on that. It's taught in medical schools. My friend Dr. Christian Northrup went to Dartmouth Medical School, which is an Ivy League school, harder than blazes to get into. First day of her class, they talked about voodoo medicine and curses, and they said it works if the recipient believes it, because our bodies are going to follow what our brains tell it. Evil spirits don't exist. Curses don't exist. They exist, but they don't have any power over everybody. Nobody can control anybody else because nobody can control anybody else's thoughts. So, no, the first thing about her neighbor. Second of all, did something happen in like a mistake in the hospital? How old was she?
She's 60.
60. What was she in there for? What was the ailment that was going on?
They said that something happened on her liver, and
Okay,
her tummy is very big, and they're still doing some investigation. But
so they
in
had
between
liver
that, she passed
failure.
away. Yes.
She had liver failure. Was there a mistake in the hospital with EU's mom? Ooh, interesting. I heard not exactly. So spirit's really literal. So we're going to do a deep dive on this. Not exactly how. What did somebody give her the wrong medicine? We're just going to ask questions. No. Did somebody not give her the medicine that she needed? The wrong medicine? No. Medicine that she needed. Did somebody miss a dose that caused her to go into a tailspin? No. Was there the level of care that she could have had to survive? Did she receive it? I got at times. So you guys had some problems with the caregivers giving her the kind of care that you expected? Did that happen in the
Yeah,
hospital?
the time that they said she need blood, after they give her blood, that time she completely stopped talking, and she was waving her hand. She saved the family high. After that, she stopped everything. Just become just nothing.
Okay. Was the blood that she was given, the blood transfusion she was given, was that the correct type of blood? Yes. Did it have something in there that caused her to pass? I heard a yes. Ooh, maybe the preservatives or something that were in there. Uh, is it worth EU and her family doing an investigation on this with the hospital? I hear a yes. I hear a yes on that. So, where was she? Where's home? Where'd she live?
She's Ethiopia.
Ethiopia. All right.
Yeah.
So, are you thinking about suing the hospital like people do here, or you just want to make
No,
sure
I
that
just need
there are
to
better
clear my mind
controls?
and my family's mind. You know, they just think something and I think something. So we're in different ways. I feel like she was okay, and after she got the blood transfusion and
Mhm,
everything is changed her.
mhm,
So my reason is there is something happened for her because
mhm.
she just fast within the next day. The day that the blood transfusion starts, she was okay. When if she finish, she already nothing. That's my feeling is something happened for her
I'm
that
getting
time.
that too. I'm getting that it had to do with blood transfusion. Yeah. If you're going to do an investigation, I would focus on that. Yeah, I'm getting that too. Was there a contaminant in the blood transfusion? I'm hearing a yes. It was something that didn't agree with her, and there was some kind of contaminant in it. I don't know if it was, something from the donor that they hadn't filtered out or what. And I'm also hearing there's a good chance you'll never find out. But for you to know, and I think you already know. You already know that it had
I
something to do
feel
with the
like
blood
that I know,
transfusion.
but I wanted to tell for my dad and my sister. They're not thinking that. They just think their
Mhm,
mind is somewhere. And during her illness, she wanted to say something for us, but
mhm.
she cannot speak. She say, I want to say something for you guys. I want to say something. Take care of yourself. Pray. These people not good. So they think that something is happen on the wish things is happen for her, and they see they do something. That's what because of she passed away. That's they think.
No, you have to explain to them that that stuff doesn't exist. It's been used to control the masses for, since the beginning of time because people control the masses with fear. And that, if there's some kind of a curse on somebody, unless they believe it, it has no power. It's like you can tell somebody they have purple hair. Well, if that upsets them, do they believe they have purple hair? Perhaps they do, but most cases they don't. So it's
No,
the same kind of a thing. Yeah, that none of that stuff works. Yeah, it's all old school, old fears that don't have any merit. So I'm so sorry about your mama. You've read Angelic Attendants? What happens as we transition from this life into the next? For anybody that wants one, just go to my website, askjulieryan.com, and there's a button, or you can go to askjulieryangift.com, and we'll send you a free digital and audiobook version, and we have it in Spanish too. So send this to your family too, because it talks about how we're all surrounded by angels and the spirits of deceased loved ones and pets. And
okay,
anybody watching or listening, if you want a free copy, order it. Just order it. Just go to askjulieryan.com or julieryangift.com and share it with your family and friends because we're all going to lose a loved one. We're all going to be there ourselves one day. That's why I give away thousands of these books because I think this stuff should be taught in the schools because everybody's so afraid. So, yeah, I hope that helps.
thank you. Thank you
You're
so much. Really
welcome.
appreciate
Thanks
always.
for
Thank you.
calling.
Thank you
Okay.
so much. Thank you, Joy.
All righty, everybody. That's it for this week. Happy St. Patrick's Day. That's coming up soon before we get back together. And in the meantime, thanks for everybody that called in and joined us and sending you lots of love from Sweet Home, Alabama. Mwah! See you next time. Bye, everybody. To enhance your spiritual journey, click on one of the videos below and remember to subscribe, leave a comment, and share this episode with your family and friends.